let's talk dimensioning. This is the dimensioning tool right here, and that is useful for sizing your piece so that it will fit on your 3D printer. So this will be useful once we actually start printing designs. Alright, so let's try dimensioning a basic shape. So this is a rectangle. When you first create it, you can dimension it, but let's say that we forgot it and exited the tool, and then we're like, oh no, I can't change it. Click this, click the 2 points that you'd like to dimension, click, and then you can enter what you'd like. So let's say 4 inches by 5 inches. There it is. So now we have dimensioned that. Let's say we wanted to dimension something more complicated. So let's try some weird shape with arcs. So like that, and like that, and then something like that, and then something like that. Okay. So it can be kind of tricky trying to dimension, say, if the top and bottom had to be a certain distance. So right here it's going to work because these are two like distinctive points. But let's say they didn't. What would we do? You can use lines to connect to something that you want to dimension. So make sure they're horizontal. A little guide will show up. This little horizontal line that shows up next to your mouse will come up when it is horizontal. And you want to do 2 of those. Okay. And now dimension between those 2 points. And that's the same as this was, just because this actually would dimension, but let's say 6 inches. There it is. Sometimes when you dimension something, it'll change the shape a lot, and that if it completely goes crazy with your shape, that might be because there's a constraint hidden. We're not really going to talk too much about constraints, but it's not usually that easy to tell when they're showed up, and sometimes it's accidental, but yeah. Alright, and then, final thing on dimensioning, let's talk about dimensioning text. So let's say we made a text box, and we wrote STEM in it. We made a text box, everything was great, and then we realized, oh no, it's not the right size. Whatever will we do? We'll dimension it. So let's make it 5 inches tall. Oh snap, it's huge. Okay. There it is, and we have now dimensioned it. We can X out of that, and we can still move it around, and there it is. Text is based off of, I believe, the smallest side will determine like how big the text can get. So the bigger this is, the larger the text will get. So let's say 10. Yeah, it'll make it larger all over. It won't just like stretch it vertically or horizontally, so you only really need to dimension it in one spot. So there it is. That is basics of dimensioning right there. It's a good tool to know how to use. Okay, adios.